Hello, friends. Today we are seeing a trend where people are claiming every single piece of knowledge or opinion or tradition or culture or religion to be scientific. They will say that, yes, my religion is scientific, this knowledge is scientific, my culture, tradition is scientific. They try to convince everybody that what we are doing is scientifically correct. Why? The reason is that everything else has only local acceptability. If it is religion, the people of the same religion will follow, other peoples will not believe anything. If it is a cultural issue, only the people following that culture will accept it. Other people will not accept it. But the moment you say it is scientific, what you are trying is that you are trying to make it universally acceptable. Today, we have lost faith in almost everything, every rational person, because many things which is written in the religion are found to be false. Many things what we believed as science or knowledge like Ayurveda or palmistry or astrology has been found to be not correct. But science is something where we have not lost the trust, and that is why everybody claim that what they are saying is science. It is science, and once you believe that something is scientific, you will accept it as true. But there is a big difference between something is scientific or not. So today we are going to learn as to how to differentiate if something is science or not. For that, we should know the scientific method. Now, what is scientific method? Scientific method is a very systematic process which is used to develop and test the scientific knowledge. Now, scientific knowledge does not come from any scripture or any book or any great man. There is a process. In science, process is important. And science generally follow inductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning basically means that we carry out an experiment or find the veracity of something or truth of something on a limited number of things, and then on the basis of that we make a universal prediction. Now, science essentially follow 6 steps, and these 6 steps are observation, question, hypothesis, experimentation, and then we have analysis and conclusion. So, in science, the conclusion or the outcome is not based on mere imagination. These 6 steps are mandatory. First step is making an observation. Like if we take one example like Newton, when he saw an apple falling, he made an observation that apple is false on the ground. Then he asked a question. Why apple is falling down only? Why it is not going up? Why it is not going on this direction or that direction? He asked a question. Then he formed a hypothesis, which should be testable hypothesis, that it is falling on the ground because there is some force which is attracting the apple. He called it a force of gravity. And then he made a base prediction on the basis of that. Everything should fall there. It is not only the apple which will fall, the table, the chair, or the person, everything should fall. And then this was tested. This hypothesis was tested by experiment. And indeed, if it was found that everything which is dropped only fall to the ground, does not go up or any other direction. So it was tested. And then the data which was collected as to how much time it takes to fall on the ground, that was tested. That was statistically analyzed. It was found that yes, the prediction was valid and there is a constant acceleration. So the knowledge was acquired that it falls with a constant acceleration. And then the conclusion was derived that the force will be equal to mg, mass into the gravity, and that is how this law of gravitation was formed. Now, it is not necessary that all the time there will be 100% certainty. For example, we know smoking causes cancer, but that does not mean that everybody who smokes will get cancer, and if you don't smoke, you will not get cancer. Here, the relationship is not 100% certain. But then what happens? Suppose you take 1,000 people on random basis who smokes and 1,000 people who does not smoke. And then you compare how many people in One group got cancer, other group got cancer. And then you find that in the group of smokers, the probability or the number of cancers were 10 times than the people who did not smoke. And then on the basis of that, you concluded that smoking increases the risk of cancer by 10 times. So that is also scientific. It is not necessary that it should happen in every case, but there has to be some mathematical modeling and some valid prediction. And no experiment has since been done where it has been found that there is no correlation. That means 100 smoker and 100 non-smoker, if you take the data and you don't find any correlation, that means both of them got equal chance of cancer. That has not been found. If you can find just one experiment, you can demolish the whole theory. So friends, first thing we should remember is that these 6 steps are compulsory and every scientific study has these steps. Many times, many branches like astrology or even Ayurveda, they do not have all these 6 steps in their prediction. These are based on some books which has been written thousands of years back or some authority because it is part of any scripture and we follow. But if we follow these 6 steps and still we are coming to the same conclusion, then only it can be said to be scientific. So we do not know sometimes whether these 6 steps has been found. So then how do we identify? So we are going to discuss the 10 steps or 10 specific features which are there for scientific knowledge. And if you apply that, even without knowing whether those 6 steps has been followed or not, you can predict whether it is scientific or not. The first step is objectivity. The scientific knowledge is objective. It does not depend upon the person, faith, and all that. But in many branches, for example, if you talk about astrology, there are different schools of astrology. What is followed in South India is not followed in North India. What is followed in India is not followed in West. So if it is not objective, it is not scientific. Empiricism. Empiricism means all this knowledge must be based on some sort of data statistical analysis. If there is no data, then it cannot be said to be scientific. Then science is always testable. That means you have your assumption or hypothesis or the theory must be such that can be tested. But there are certain things we can't test. For example, God, soul, or rebirth. We can't test. So that is not scientific. The next characteristic is the parsimony. Parsimony basically means that whatever predictions you are making must be simple, elegant, and concise. It must be very simple. You will find that there are very complex theories in religions and philosophies. No, they are not science. They may be based on logic, but they are not science. Scientific theory like E is equal to mc square, F is equal to ma. I mean, it should be very simple. Maybe 1 or 2 paragraphs must be enough. Repeatability. Scientific experiments must always be repeatable. You carry out the experiment 1000 times and every time the experiment must give you the same result. So if some people say, I remember my past birth, while you don't remember, that is not scientific. It should not happen that some object fall down and some object go up and then you say law of gravity holds. No. Because every object go down, that is why it is law of gravity. All the scientific knowledge are always published in the peer review journal. That means other scientists must be able to criticize, question that knowledge. If that feature is not there, it is not scientific. They must be able to demolish whatever you are saying. And that is why science is always having a self-correction. Because if I committed a mistake, you can correct. If Newton committed a mistake, Einstein corrected it. So always remember that it is having a self-correction. Unlike that, you find in the religions and pseudosciences, there is no self-correction mechanism. Something has been said. You can't change even a comma for the stop. That is why science is always tentative. It is provisional because as soon as a better theory comes, the older theory will be replaced. It will be replaced by better theory. There has been so many models of atom and as we get the better theory, the older theories are sent to dustbin. Science is also universal. That means it should be same all across the world. Irrespective of the caste, race and everything, it should be same. It should be universal. While other things are depending upon the local culture, traditions and all that. This science is always cumulative. That means it is built over each other. Every scientific theory is built over other. If you read any scientific journal, any scientific study which is published in a journal, you will find that it always relies upon other people's work. While you will find there is no such mechanism in other field of knowledge. No religion refers to other religion. No astrology refers to other astrology. It seems to come out of its own. Science is not like that. It is built step by step. So friend, these 10 features are there in every scientific knowledge. And if you test and you find that all the 10 features are there, then you can say it is scientific. Otherwise, it is not. The less number of features are there, the less scientific it is. The more number of features are there, the more scientific. Similarly, if the 6 steps are not present, it is not a scientific knowledge. So you can use this criteria, you can use this method to find out if something is scientific or not. I hope you have today learned about what is scientific, what is science, and what is non-science or pseudoscience. And please use this, because only trust science and don't trust any form of knowledge. Thank you very much.